Good evening. Wishing all of you a very, very happy Independence Day. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. You're watching Super 6 here on India Today. Before we get you all of the highlights of the Independence Day celebrations today, we're putting the focus on Kishtwar of Jammu and Kashmir, where a massive cloudburst triggered a landslide and flash floods yesterday. The death toll unfortunately continues to mount. At least 65 people, most of them pilgrims, have died in those flash floods on the Machel Mata Yatra route at Chasoti village. Flash floods tore through the densely populated foothill hamlet, damaging several homes, forcing authorities to halt the annual yatra. At this point, over 160 people have been rescued so far. The condition of about 38 is said to be critical. And even now, as we speak, search and relief operations continue because reports suggest that there are still many people missing right now. Operations are underway on a war footing to provide relief to those in distress. Heartbreaking images that are coming in from Kishtwar. While on one end you see the rescue and relief work that's underway, on the other, heartbroken relatives continuing to search for their loved ones. Here are ground reports.
India today has reached ground zero at Chashoti village in Jammu and Kashmir's far-flung Kishtwar district. Yesterday, a massive cloud burst occurred here, and because of that, there were massive floods here and many sheds were washed away. As per the latest information, 44 dead bodies have been recovered from the debris, while more than 100 people have been rescued and the injured have been taken to different hospitals here in Kishtwar district as well as in Government Medical College, Jammu. And now you can see that teams from the NDRF have also reached this ill-fated village and they are also going to join the relief and rescue operations here. Hundreds of people are still missing here at Chashoti village. Remember, there is an annual pilgrimage to Machel Mata which is on here, and these days the yatra is on. Hundreds of pilgrims were camping here, and from this village the yatra begins on foot. So there were large number of devotees here yesterday when this tragedy struck this village, and after that teams from the SDRF, local army units, local police personnel as well as the local residents immediately rushed to this particular area and they carried out the relief and rescue operation. 44 dead bodies have been recovered so far and more than 100 people have been rescued in injured state. They have been taken to different hospitals for treatment. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Chashoti village in Kishtwar district of Jammu and Kashmir for India Today.
ये कौन है जो मिसिंग? इसकी वाइफ है मिसिंग। की भाभी? हाँ जी, मेरी भाभी है। और आपका भतीजा? भतीजा तो है, ठीक है, भाई भी ठीक है। भतीजा मिल गया? हाँ जी, हाँ जी। ये जो आपके भाभी है वो मिसिंग है? वो मिसिंग है सर। क्या पता लग रहा है अभी जो आपने बातचीत यहाँ पर की? सर हमें जितनी जल्दी सके पता लग जाए इनका। इनका कोई आता पता नहीं? इनका कोई पता लगा अभी। कितने लोग आए थे यहाँ पर? सर ये काफ़ी फैमिली आए थे हमारे। ये मेरे भाई है, इनके साथ इनकी फैमिली भी आई थी। इनकी फैमिली नहीं मिल रही सर।
घर पे थे, हम गाड़ी भागे इधर।
जो भाग गए, जो बच गए वो
गाड़ी में था। कोई यात्री गए थे मिलने उनके साथ।
इनका एक्चुअली होटल है।
मेरी जेठानी चिकड़ से निकाली, कीचड़ से इधर मुंह पे है सारे लगे उसको बहुत।
ठीक है मिले उनसे।
ये ठाकुर चंद जी अपने वो पुराने घर में ही थे?
नहीं पुराना घर सेफ है। हाँ। पुराना घर सेफ जो नहीं बनाया था उधर से नाले के साथ था, वही चले गए।
We're getting breaking news coming in from Delhi at the famous Humayan tomb in Nizamuddin of Delhi. A part of the wall in one of the parts of the tomb has collapsed and 5 people have died in this tragedy. This is the Dargah wall in Humayan tomb that's collapsed. 5 people have died because they were in that building when the wall came crashing down. This is in fact in the Dargah, in the part of the property of Humayun's tomb where this collapse has happened. 11 people were rescued, all rushed to a hospital. Unfortunately, 5 people have also died. I'll take this across to Rahul Gautam, who's joining us live from the Humayun tomb where this tragedy played out. Rahul, take us through the latest updates coming in. Unfortunately, we understand 5 people have lost their lives.
Yes, unfortunately, this is what we've been told, that 5 people have lost their lives. I'll just show you a live rescue operation which is still underway at this accident site. This is actually a Dargah, a religious site inside the premise of Humayun's tomb, and there were around 12 people which are said to be trapped when this incident happened around 3:15 p.m. This afternoon, and later on when the entire administration, including police officials, NDRF, SDRF team, rescue teams, they reached here, they rescued those people, and they were shifted to LNJP hospital and AIMS hospital. And now you can see the rescue operation is still underway. They're trying to ascertain that now not a single person is trapped inside, and therefore they are still digging up the debris. I'll show you the vicinity. You can see there are a lot of ambulances also here or on standby in case if they are able to retrieve any person from this debris. These ambulances will be taking them to nearby hospitals. But I'll just show you that it seems that there was some sort of construction activity happening.
Okay, so we understand this happened in the afternoon in the Humayun tomb area. The reality is that, look, this is on Independence Day, a national holiday. A lot of tourists would have visited the site. So let's hope that the 11 people who've been rescued, they're doing okay. Thanks, Rahul, for those details. Let's now get you all of the highlights coming in. It's Independence Day, and so as always, India is celebrating with much fan fervor. Let's get you some of those images on your screens right now as Congress leaders who went ahead and celebrated Independence Day with a flag hoisting ceremony. Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, Ajay Makan and others participated in the celebrations at the party office, but they chose to boycott the Independence Day event at the Red Fort. In the pouring rain, Rahul Gandhi was seen there with other Congress leaders taking part in the Independence Day celebrations. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta hoisted the tricolour on the occasion of the 79th Independence Day. During the occasion, she pledged to rejuvenate the Yamuna River, make the national capital's infrastructure the best in the country. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar hoisted the national flag at his residence in New Delhi on the occasion of Independence Day and joined millions across the country in celebrating the spirit of independence. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah paid floral tributes at the Balidan Stambh in Srinagar and hoisted the flag on the occasion of Independence Day. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also hoisted the tricolour in Lucknow, extending his greetings to the people of the state and the nation. Let's now also get you a special report. India Today takes you inside the Ambala Air Force Station, home of the Golden Arrow Squadron. And this is where Rafale fighter jets launched missions that shook Pakistan, striking terror camps, crippling their air bases and rewriting combat history. Let's take a look at this special report by Shivani Sharma.
On the completion of 100 days of Operation Sindoor, India Today brings you the first ever ground report from Ambala Air Force Station, home of the Golden Arrow Squadron that changed the course of the conflict. Rafale fighter jets took off to strike terror camps deep inside Pakistan and later targeted over a dozen of its air bases, creating havoc for the first time in combat history.
From the front line during the Operation Sindoor to the 100 days of the successful operation, India Today is getting you this exclusive report from the Golden Arrow Squadron of the Rafale fighter jets at Air Force Station Ambala. Rafales have been the game changers for Indian Air Force. They created havoc inside Pakistan, not only during the initial strikes, but also when Pakistan chose to retaliate with drones. And we'll be showing you the capabilities of these Rafale fighters and also speaking to the pilots of Rafale.
India Today ground report reveals for the first time how the Rafales prove their combat power in real operations. Rafale fighter jet combat capabilities. Omni-role design can perform air-to-air, air-to-ground and reconnaissance missions in a single sortie. Meteor missiles, beyond visual range air-to-air missile with over 150 km range, unmatched in the region. Scalp cruise missiles, long-range precision strikes on fortified targets over 300 km away. Speed and maneuverability. Top speed of Mach 1.8 with exceptional agility for dogfights. Spectra Electronic Warfare Suite. Advanced jamming, threat detection and self-protection system. Precision targeting. Thales targeting pod for pinpoint accuracy in any weather or lightning condition. Long endurance, combat radius over 1,000 kilometers, extendable with aerial refueling. All-weather, all-terrain operation, capable of day and night missions in hostile environments.
Rafale is the 4.5 generation fighter jet, which is an omni-role fighter with twin engine. It was procured from France. The deal was signed in 2016 and the first Rafale was commissioned in 2019. And in 2020, these Rafales started coming to India. Now we have the complete strength of two squadrons. One squadron is based in Ambala, which is also called the Golden Arrow. The other squadron is in Hashimara. Rafale happens to be one of the most lethal fighter jets of this era, and you see the missile carrying capabilities of Rafale make it special because these are the attachments where the missile systems are loaded. It can be integrated with hammer missiles. These are the precision missiles with long range capabilities. They can also be integrated with scalp missile systems. The hammers and the scalps were also used in Operation Sindoor. A number of other missile systems that can be integrated with Rafale to make it firepower more lethal and precise. So this is how these Rafales have been capable of being in action and complex missions.
From Ambala's runway to the hostile skies over Pakistan, these Rafales have cemented their place as India's most potent air combat asset. And 100 days later, their impact continues to define India's air power edge.
There's a lot of talk about the capabilities of its missile system, the Scalp, the Hammer, the Meteor and many other systems. Please tell us about the missile systems that are integrated.
All I can say right now is that the roles that were assigned to the squadron and the aircraft were successfully completed by the squadron. And whatever weapons were delivered by the aircraft were very, very precise.
The commanding officer of the Golden Arrows reveals how the mission was executed with precision and lethality.
When we talk about the capabilities, we say that this is a omni-role aircraft. Why do we say this?
So omni-role means that the different types of missions can be done by the aircraft in a single sortie. Like while carrying out a ground attack, it can counter an air-to-air threat, or while launching a long-range missile, it can carry out electronic warfare or gather intelligence, all in the same sortie. So whenever we use the word omni-role, we associate Rafale with it.
The man-machine interface of this aircraft is what sets it apart from the other fighter aircraft. The man-machine interface of this aircraft is very user-friendly, and in a combat-dense environment, it enhances the performance of the pilot. The radar that has been integrated in this aircraft is capable of tracking both air-to-air as well as air-to-surface tracks. The electronic warfare suite of this aircraft, it enhances the survivability of this aircraft, and at the same time it enhances the offensive capabilities of this aircraft.
During the initial training phase of the pilot, he has to go through a very steep learning curve, which is challenging and rigorous in its own way. And rightly so, because we have to fully utilize the versatile capability of this aircraft to the max extent. And that's where the simulators step in. I must say that the simulators has paid really rich dividends and will continue to do so in the individual pilot capability development and also in understanding, the operational philosophy of this aircraft.
Now we are showing you how a pilot gets ready for a mission. So this Rafale jet is getting ready for a sortie, an operational mission. And before the flight takes on, the team conducts the external inspection of the aircraft. And then the pilot gets ready, takes his cockpit, and he is ready to fly. So these Rafale jets not only are the protectors of the western front line, but also along the line of actual control at the Hashimara Air Base. The squadron of Rafale stays ready for any kind of action anytime it gets a command. So here we see that before a mission, the pilot is ready, and now it will take on a mission. And when we talk about the proximity of Ambala Air Force Station, it is around 200 kilometers from India-Pakistan border. So when in Operation Sindoor, we saw the operations happening. Whenever these fighters go for a mission, they return. So you make sure that they are once again checked thoroughly for another mission?
Yes, so the maintenance philosophy that we are following on this aircraft is the philosophy which the OEM or the DASO also follows. So in that we have a calendar-based servicing schedule and a integrated management system which helps us to check the health of the aircraft when the aircraft comes back after the sortie. In that, once the aircraft lands back, we check all the parameters of the aircraft to clear it for the next sortie, which can be done easily on a system provided to us. So that helps us to clear the aircraft when it is required.
Marking 100 days of Operation Sindoor, Air Chief Marshal AP Singh recently revealed that the Indian Air Force took down at least 6 Pakistani aircraft during the high-tempo missions. The operations, spearheaded by the Rafale-equipped Golden Arrow Squadron from Ambala, also crippled multiple Pakistani air bases in coordinated strikes.
I can say that it was, more of the high-tech war which was fought. In about 88, 90 hours of war, we were able to achieve, so much of damage to the system that it was very clear in their mind that in this current situation, if they continue, they are going to continue paying for it more and more.
According to top sources, the IAF has now formally pitched for additional Rafale jets to offset its depleting squadron strength, which will take a further hit with the phasing out of the MiG series next month. The Rafale's proven performance in combat, especially its ability to dominate adversaries in both air-to-air and deep strike roles, has strengthened the case for expanding the fleet. Senior officials say a larger Rafale fleet would not only replace aging aircraft, but also give the IAF a decisive technological edge in the region for years to come.
Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal AP Singh recently said that how during Operation Sindoor, the Indian Air Force crippled the Pakistani air bases and they lost more than 6 fighters. And this Ambala Air Base was ready in Operation Sindoor. And we are saying that even after 100 days of Operation Sindoor, the Operation Sindoor is going on and these Rafales are still in a mission-ready mode. This is Shivani Sharma with camera person Prem Chand for India Today from Ambala.
The heroes of Operation Sindoor, one of them at least, the Rafale jets played a crucial role in Operation Sindoor. 100 days of Operation Sindoor on Independence Day. And that's why you're seeing such a big tribute for our forces today, rather fittingly. As we speak, Donald Trump, US President, is on his way to Alaska for that crucial truce talk with Putin, or referred to as a peace talk. Let's see if that's actually the case. But Trump, speaking about this meeting, has said there could be severe consequences and has said that on what's happening really on business and the Putin meeting, he says that Putin is interested and that the world is currently looking at the economy in United States. Trump says he's interested in ensuring a Trump economy. Now, besides that, also on whether there will be any progress when Trump and Putin meet, when they have this truce talk, Trump says that if we do make progress, I will mention it. He's had a 5-minute long conversation. Let's play that out for you.
what I do care about is they lost last week 7,011 people were lost, almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile, but over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
Can you describe a little bit, Mr. President, because I know you've had a lot of phone calls with President Putin. What's the difference in a face-to-face, in-person meeting?
Look, he's a smart guy, been doing it for a long time, but so have I. Been doing it for a long time. And here we are, we're president. That was much more difficult than what I'm doing today, believe me. So we get along. There's a good respect level on both sides, and I think, something's going to come of it. I noticed he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia, and that's good. I like that because they want to do business, but they're not doing business until we get the war settled.
Are you going to talk about business?
When you talk business, we have the hottest country on earth. We have the hottest economy on earth. We have the hottest country. We just set a new stock market record again. We have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing in from tariffs. We're the hottest country. We were a dead country, dead like doornails, a dead country. 1 year ago, we were dead as a doornail, and now we have the hottest country. And he wants a piece of that because his country is not hot economically. In fact, it's the opposite. And China's not doing well economically, but look, I want everybody to do well. The war's got to stop and the killing's got to stop.
Mr. President, when you stop, thank you for coming back to take questions. We saw that Russia continued its violence into Ukraine last night, launching even more drones. What did you make of that?
I think they're trying to negotiate. He's trying to set a stage. I mean, in his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him. But in his mind, that helps him make a better deal if they can continue the killing. Maybe it's a part of the world. Maybe it's just his fabric, his genes, his genetics. But he thinks that makes him, gives him strength in negotiating. I think it hurts him, but I'll be talking to him about it later.
It's on the table for discussions today, Mr. President. Are the territorial swaps on the table? Will you be discussing that?
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table. And I think you have two sides. Look, Vladimir Putin wanted to take all of Ukraine. If I wasn't president, he would right now be taking all of Ukraine. But he's not going to do it.
Mr. President, what did you mean?
Just one thing. What about the possibility of the United States providing security guarantees to Ukraine?
Maybe. Along with Europe and other countries. Not in the form of NATO, because that's not going to, there are certain things that aren't going to happen. But yeah, along with Europe, there's a possibility of that.
Mr. President, you mentioned the number of business people that President Putin is bringing along. Is that something that you want to discuss with President Putin at this meeting?
If we make progress, I would discuss it, because that's one of the things that they would like. They'd like to get a piece of what I built in terms of the economy. Just so you know, we were a dead country with our economy. He wouldn't be interested. He wouldn't have been interested a year ago with the Biden economy. But he is interested in the Trump economy because we're doing. Wait till you see when those factories start opening up. We have hundreds of factories all over the country, and that includes auto factories, AI factories, and every other. They're all coming in because they want to beat the tariffs. Because if they open here, they don't have to pay tariffs. If they don't open here, they have to pay, in some cases, 200%, 300%. I haven't even set some of the tariffs yet. I'll be setting tariffs next week and the week after on steel and on, I would say, chips. Chips and semiconductors we'll be setting sometime next week, week after.
What rate are you looking at? What rate?
I'm going to have a rate that is going to be lower at the beginning. Then that gives them a chance to come in and build. And very high after a certain period of time. And if they don't build here, they have to pay a very high tariff, which doesn't work, so they'll come and build.
Mr. President, hi. You had said earlier...
Isn't he a gentleman? He's a nice.
He's helping me out.
He's a very nice. He's one of the few nice ones, actually.
You had said earlier this week that Putin would face severe consequences if you get the sense from him that he's not interested. What do you mean by that?
Economically severe. Yes, it will be very severe.
Okay, let me bring in Pranay Upadhyay of India Today Global. Pranay, the world is watching this particular meeting that will be happening in a few hours from now between Trump and Putin. You listen to that 5-minute conversation that Trump had with reporters. He's not conceding exactly what the game plan is for America, but making it very, very clear that there's no middle ground, essentially, that America is willing to reach as far as, the Russia-Ukraine war goes in negotiations with Russia.
Akshita, there are two important takeaways here. One, frontier, which is a major bone of contention between Russia-Ukraine conflict, is that Ukraine's intention to get included in NATO. Here, President Donald Trump clearly he has clarified that, in terms of the security guarantee or any security arrangement, for Ukraine does not include its inclusion in NATO. So there is clearly a big, victory for President Vladimir Putin before even this meeting, because this is what he has been saying, that we cannot let Ukraine get included in NATO or become part of NATO. So here US President Donald Trump made it clear that he does not mean the security guarantee for Ukraine means that there will be a NATO inclusion. He also indicated that there are certain things which cannot happen. More so in terms of the land swap, in terms of the land deal or any exchange of territories, he said that this is for the Ukraine to decide. I'm not going to decide on behalf of Ukraine, but certainly I'm going to engage with the Russian president, and we see it as he has also warned Russia that if these talks fail, then there are going to be serious consequences for that. When he was asked about the clarification on serious consequences, he said that these would be serious economic consequences.
Yeah.
We know, Akshita, that the bipartisan bill on sanctioning Russia is pending on Capitol Hill, which has a provision of 500% tariffs on Russia, and also which makes a provision about secondary tariffs. We know that countries like India are facing the secondary tariffs because we are buying oil from Russia, and US President Donald Trump has decided to put additional tariff on India on lieu of the Russian oil purchase.
The world is watching, yes, India particularly, because of exactly what you referred to there, Pranay, that what happens in this particular meet, the outcome of this meeting will directly have an impact on India. The tariff impact is what we're talking about. Thanks, Pranay, for joining us with those details. We're going to be live through the night tonight, getting you all the live updates on that crucial meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Will we see some sort of a breakthrough, or will they hit some roadblock? We'll be tracking all those updates. You can never really tell with Donald Trump. But listen in to what he said earlier. We're getting you both sides, what America has to say about this meeting and what Russia has to.
I would say that tomorrow all I want to do is set the table for the next meeting, which should happen shortly. I'd like to see it happen very quickly, very shortly after this meeting. I'd like to see it actually happen maybe in Alaska, where we just stay because it's so much easier. But I think that it's going to be very interesting. We're going to find out where everybody stands, and I'll know within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, like we tend to find out, whether or not we're going to have a good meeting or a bad meeting. And if it's a bad meeting, it'll end very quickly. And if it's a good meeting, we're going to end up getting peace in the pretty near future. Okay? We have a meeting with President Putin tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens. And I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great. I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine.
Мы даем оценки.
Мы никогда не загадываем ничего наперед. Мы знаем, что у нас есть аргумент, у нас есть позиция понятная, четкая. Мы будем ее излагать. Здесь уже немало сделано в ходе визитов Стивена Уиткофа. Президент об этом сказал. И Уиткоф выступал от имени президента Трампа. Надеюсь, что мы сегодня, завтра продолжим этот очень полезный разговор.
Okay, as we count down to that meet, we just played out for you what Lavrov said. There was also a sequence where he was asked by the reporter, are you nervous? And he says, what's that? So that gives you a sense of really what Russia's mood is, what Team Putin's mood is going into this particular meeting. We'll be tracking all those live updates with the best team of reporters on ground all night. We'll get you those live updates of the meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Crucial, like I said earlier, for India too. I'm wrapping up this edition of Super 6 once again, wishing all of you a very, very happy Independence Day. Thanks very much for tuning in.